Everyone, so welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know, if you didn't watch my introduction video, I run Foxborough Vintage on Etsy, shop Foxborough on the Poshmark app, and I also have a handmade business, the Purple Hedgehog, on Etsy. And this is my channel about just reselling, the vintage lifestyle, travel, and all that good stuff. So my first video is actually going to be a tour of my studio space. My husband kind of redid this room for me when the baby came and kicked me out of my room upstairs. I had my whole studio set up upstairs, and when we had our second baby, that was going to be his room, so I got moved down into the basement, and that actually worked out really well for me because I have a nice beautiful picture window and I can photograph down here during the cold winter months, which is not something that I could do before. Yeah, all year. So I'll show you around. You can leave me feedback on what you think. I've kind of come up with some clever storage over the years for certain things, and just trying to make the most of this space and keep it nice and clean and airy and easy to sweep and maintain. So this is my workspace. Thanks for joining me. All right, so I'm standing in the very far corner to just kind of give you a little full panoramic view here. And one of the things I like most about how I set up this studio is that both spaces are sort of independent of each other. So the area where I photograph is different from the area where I make my zipper pouches. So if one area I'm in the middle of doing something, I don't have to clean it all up to be able to work on my other business. So that's been really key for me to keep them separated. So the first area I'm going to show you is actually, I'm lucky enough to have a large enough room that I can have a play area for my kids, which is great. So basically I've just got a bunch of toys that either we had or I picked up at the thrift store. Like the Lincoln Logs, I think I paid $5.99 at Salvation Army, and the tub of blocks were $2.99 at Salvation Army or Goodwill, something like that. And I just picked stuff up at the bins, little things. One of the tips that I have is that if you are going to have a special play area for your kids, make sure that the things that you have in that area are things that they don't get to play with anywhere else. So basically it creates excitement every time that you come down to your area or, you know, go to your area, that they get to play with all of these toys. It's essentially like going to another kid's house and your kid is like enthralled with the 12 toys that they have. Well, it's the same concept. So the DVDs that we have here only get to be played when we're down here. And the toys always stay down here. This is just a little like vintage chest that I had at the end of my bed. It has storage cubbies in here where I have some like Melissa and Doug blocks and such. We have my favorite Mr. Godzilla. Isn't he amazing? Oh yeah. Yeah, so that is the kids' play area, and it's a really nice luxury to be able to have that in my small space. So the next area we're going to take a look at is actually my desk area, and this is where I do most of my packing and shipping for all of my businesses, both my handmade and Foxborough, which is the clothing sales. Right here, this is a handy thing. I found this on Amazon. It's a business card holder like you would find in like a doctor's office, and I actually keep my business cards there so that as I'm packing, I can just grab one and slip it into the package, and then I don't have that clutter on my desk. I've got my little thank you stickers to put on my packages, coffee of course. And then This is kind of my area where I keep all of my receipts. My computer randomly decided to delete Excel on me, so that's why there's such a backlog of receipts. And here I have my priority mailers, the flat rate mailers. I have the 6x9 mailers I use for my Purple Hedgehog business, and here I have some unicorn mailers. I usually just buy whatever is like cheaper, cute off of Amazon. They're the 9x13 poly mailers. Under my desk here, I have a little slide out tray that's supposed to be for the keyboard, but I keep my planner there so I can just pull it out and at a glance see what I'm working on for the day. I've got my Dymo printer, which a lot of people have been going back and forth between get the Rollo, get the Dymo, and my Dymo I bought it brand new and it's jammed a couple of times, and I'm only using the Dymo labels, so maybe go with the Rollo. And then down here I have my priority mailboxes. My favorites are the shoebox, the small square box, which these are great for like mugs if you're selling vintage, or jewelry that's a little bulkier. These are regional boxes, those are for swaps. This is a Poshmark seller favorite. These are the boxes with the adhesive on them. So some of the boxes don't have adhesive, but these do, and these little ones, which are great for the jewelry, those do as well. So you can order those from the USPS website for free. All priority mail packaging is free. At the bottom here we have the flat rate bubble mailers, and then the flat or just the regular Tyvek mailers there. And then I've got some like little packaging stuff in case I get an order that requires gift wrap. And my scale, which I always find it's really important to have it out, open, make sure nothing is on top of it so that I can readily just measure how much something weighs and get it shipped right away. The next area is going to be the area where I take my photographs for Poshmark and Etsy and eBay. And it's dark right now outside, so sorry about the lighting, but I keep a rolling rack with my next batch of things that need to be steamed and are going to be listed. And so this is all the stuff that I'm working on tomorrow. And then over here I have my dress form, I have my ring light and an umbrella light, and I used both of those to just give an even lighting. And I do not put the ring light directly in front of the piece, I put it off to the side, and I put one umbrella light off to the side, and that just gives me a nice fade background without being too stark. It looks really more natural, and obviously I take my pictures during the daytime when I'm able. And then I also use, one of the first purchases I bought for my business was the Jiffy steamer, and that is, I have the metal head Jiffy steamer. You put your water down here, you've got an on-off switch, got the big metal head, and you just steam there. Empty Hanger on YouTube actually has a great video about steaming with this exact steamer. So, and the last area is where I do all of my Purple Hedgehog business zipper pouch making. So I've got all my fabrics stored on my shelves. Over here, anything I have bulk of, I try to keep on bolts. Up there, I've got my sewing notions in little cubbies, little boxes, and then I've got my fabrics organized by category. It's the same categories that I have listed in my shop. I keep my ironing board closed up when it's not in use, and this is where I do all my cutting and measuring. And I also cross-purpose this table when I am listing on Poshmark. And you can see I've got my lint roller, I've got my defuzzer, I've got dry erase markers to try and get Sharpie off of the bottoms of shoes. And here is where I keep all of my linings and zippers sorted by color. So these are actually shoe hangers and they have double pockets. So basically if you were storing shoes, you would have one shoe here and one shoe here. But the way I did it was you've got the smaller zipper pouch linings and then the bigger ones behind it. And then likewise, I'm gonna have the bigger zipper here and the smaller zippers here. So definitely looking at what you need to store and then figuring out the best storage solution you can find, even if it's unconventional. I searched Amazon for a long time before I decided that this was what would work best for me. And my last area is where I sew. You can see I've got another unconventional storing method for my coin pouch zippers. That is actually like a Copic pen holder, and I just taped them all together and stood them upright. It works pretty well for me to be able to see all of the different colors, what I need to restock, etc. And across from my sewing machine, you can see I have the TV. Do that. This sewing table actually came from Pier 1 Imports. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's nice because it has the little cubbies on the side, and I use that to store pre-cut fabrics and interfacing. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but you get the gist. Yeah, so that is my sewing area. I got a little tour around my workspace. Everybody's workspace is going to be different. It's going to be what works for them. I'm just lucky enough to have this big room down here that we could remodel to kind of make into my studio space. And yeah, so thank you so much for checking out my second video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!